Continue to follow the story of the devastating flooding in Texas that occurred just a little more than a week ago. As CNN reports, the death toll from the Central Texas flooding is now up to at least 129, with 150 still missing.
The governor has activated state emergency response resources ahead of severe weather and flash flooding threats expected for the weekend. He's saying Texans should stay weather aware and follow local officials' guidance for safety. Plus, swiftwater rescue squads are ready to support local storm response operations. Let's start things off taking a look at radar and satellite across the country. We do already have rain and thunderstorms in Texas, though thankfully at this point not into the hill country.
Yeah, the other side of the state here, western Texas into the Texas Panhandle, also parts of New Mexico. Recall, it's some parts of southern New Mexico that really had a lot of rain with the deadly flash flooding there as well. It's just east of those locations at this point in time. As you work northward, Oklahoma, lots of heavy rain there. We've had some flash flood warnings instigated in northeastern Oklahoma. This is a boundary that goes into Michigan.
Yeah, we have more of a severe weather threat to the north today. Not quite yet at this point. That will fire up as storms strengthen later into the afternoon. And again, doesn't look like much on radar, especially zoomed out here, but we do have rain and thunderstorms into the northeast.
And those are going to continue to fire up today across. Thanks for joining us on AccuWeather Weekend. I'm Melissa Constanzer. Unfortunately, with the latest in Texas, we know of 129 people that are dead now from the Central Texas flooding that started as we went through the 4th of July. And we also know of 150 people missing still at this point in time. It's going to be a long road for recovery as the search continues for those that are still missing. And the challenge is the miles of debris on some of these rivers that people are having to search through, and those rescue crews are searching through to try to find those that are still missing. On top of it, we're challenged with heat, humidity, and more thunderstorms in the weekend forecast. Let's start you off with a look at satellite and radar, because thankfully it is dry there right now through some of the hardest hit locations through central Texas. But to the north into the Panhandle, we do have showers and thunderstorms out there. Also, new storm system firing up. It's going to put a lot of activity into Canada, but it's going to bring up a few thunderstorms across the state of Michigan too today. That could be strong, severe, so we'll look for that threat. The eastern U.S. fairly quiet, though pop-up thunderstorms will occur not only in the northeast, but also through much of the southeast. And if you're in the western U.S., this is where we are looking dry in the southern plains, because Texas, like I said, we are still dealing with the cleanup from especially the hard-hit location along the Guadalupe. Also through the Ozarks, a few thunderstorms there. We do have some more significant terrain, but we haven't seen as much rain recently there, so we can probably handle a couple of these thunderstorms. Thankfully, not nearly as many flood warnings out there, though we're watching around the Tulsa area as that has a recent flood warning, and then into Guadalupe County, New Mexico, there is a flood warning there as well. We will watch this area for flooding, by the way, from Tulsa through most of Texas, including Abilene, even near some of those hardest hit locations through central Texas. So kind of the northern fringes here of where some of those locations have been this past weekend and earlier this week. We will get more rainfall as we bringing these thunderstorms today into the southern plains. As we go through this afternoon, notice how most of these thunderstorms don't really move, especially those in northern Texas along the Red River. These locations will be at the greatest risk for flash flooding. Also, the ones across New Mexico into western Texas will be problematic. They die down into tomorrow morning, but more fire up as we head through tomorrow afternoon. So when you get under these thunderstorms that are just going to sit still or more or less slowly move and drift through places, this is where we can add inches of rain at a time for the mid of Michigan. So watch out for that chance of rain. We do have showers in the forecast for Sault Ste. Marie today. We will have thunderstorms redeveloping across Michigan. So Detroit, you have the risk for thunderstorms. Green Bay, Chicago, all dealing with some thunderstorms. Off towards the west, notice how things are quieter here. We have some hazy sun icons. That there overtakes the region. So we won't see nearly as much in the way of rain chances closing out the weekend as where we're starting off in states like Michigan as well as Illinois. But what you will find is more of those smoky few hours. You can see already there's a storm system off towards north in Canada, one frontal boundary coming through. This one already starting to pick up some of those thunderstorms today, but really lights up pretty well here ahead of the main front, which is off towards the west. So we will have kind of that initialized thunderstorm activity, which could be strong to severe. That dies down still, though the front has to swing its way through, which it does so into tomorrow morning. That's when the drier kind of smoky air fills in behind things for us. To the south, more of that moisture blistering, which means showers and thunderstorms are still going to be possible across states of Missouri and Kansas. As we head through tomorrow, we'll have to dodge some of that. Help continues to pour in for communities hit hard by the deadly Texas flooding. Mercy Chefs, known for providing hot chef prepared. Well, across the south, of course, we're still talking about some of those showers, thunderstorms from Dallas to Little Rock, Jonesboro. We still have a little bit of rainfall out there. Also, some thunderstorms just picking up. We do have some thunderstorms here gearing up as you work your way across Michigan, northern Indiana. Watching some of those thunderstorms just starting to pop up just in the past couple of minutes, really, is where we've had some of this rainfall skirting its way on through. And we'll take this full screen for a moment while I get this into play mode. Potential for severe weather here towards Michigan, but beyond that, it is a little bit smoky in these skies as you work your way towards the Watertown area, Minneapolis, and Sioux Falls. What does our outlook for today look like? You can see that severe weather threat highlighted here through Michigan. So these are where those thunderstorms could have some hail, some damaging wind gusts, and potentially some flooding. As we get
a few recently, so I thought it would be helpful to break down the difference between a warning and an emergency so you know kind of what you should do when each are issued. We'll start with the warning. This means that flash flooding is either happening or is expected to happen soon. Some roads could be flooded, homes, businesses could be flooded. You might need to evacuate depending on where you are, especially if you're somewhere that floods often. You are somewhere that's a little bit lower as far as elevation. You might need to get to higher ground. Just kind of know your flood risk for your location. That same advice goes for a flash flood emergency, but this is different. It's a very rare situation. This is the highest level of alert when it comes to flooding. It means there is a severe threat to human life, catastrophic damage. There are water rescues actively happening usually, and this is a much more serious situation that you should probably take action. Well, we're continuing to watch for the risk of flash flooding in parts of Texas up into Oklahoma and some other nearby states because of rounds of heavy, slow-moving thunderstorms. Now, we've been watching Kerr County very carefully, right, because this is where we still have search and rescue operations ongoing, recovery efforts ongoing after the devastating flooding that we saw more than a week ago at this point. Kerrville, you're right kind of on the edge of our area of most concern. So here's the bottom line. You are going to see thunderstorms. You are going to see some heavy downpours that could lead to some additional flash flooding, because really any rainfall right now is just going to kind of exacerbate the current situation, and also will lead to search and rescue efforts having to be changed up a little bit to accommodate for the thunderstorms. The worst of this is going to be farther to the north, though. Here's a look at how it plays out on future radar, and you can see why flash flooding is the biggest concern, right? Right off the bat in the morning, we are dealing with some widespread heavy downpours. Now, as we go throughout the day, Sunday's a little bit of a better chance for rain compared to Saturday for places like Kerrville. Expect round after round of some thunderstorms. We continue to play this out. You're getting hit with a little bit more of a widespread cell as we head Sunday overnight into Monday, and then Monday, more thunderstorms to be expected here, maybe a little bit more scattered, but just be prepared for the next couple of days of this. Now, Sunday, we could see some of these storms on the strong to severe side as well. It's a lower end threat, level 1 out of 4. This is the area we're most concerned about. Flash flooding, kind of the biggest threat, but we could see damaging wind gusts and hail as well. And I say flash flooding is the biggest threat because not only did you see on future radar, but take a look at our rain totals. Somewhere like Kerrville, 1 to 2 inches, but it's worse up to the north with 6 to 8 inches of rainfall possible.